Okay, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you're watching from. This is the first video on web development, and we're going to be treating Introduction to VS Code. As we should know already, VS Code is one of many code editors that we can use to build practically anything ranging from mobile apps to websites. And today we're going to be scratching just the surface on how exactly VS Code works. So I'm going to hop onto Google and search for Visual Studio Code. We have to first of all install it. So the very first link that we are going to see should take us to the website where VS Code is. So now when the page loads, it's going to show us based on our operating system what installer we're going to install. I'm using a Linux, so for that reason it's showing me a Debian for Ubuntu. So I already have VS Code installed, so there's really no need for this. All I need to do is to search for Visual Studio Code, but then I need to open a new window, so I already have work there. Okay, so this is the very basic layout of VS Code, what you're going to see if you're opening VS Code for the very first time. Going through every section, here we have the file explorer. Here if you're to open it, we see if we were to have a folder open, we're going to see the various sections inside, the folders, subfolders, the files inside, and how everything works out. We're going to go through that very shortly. The next, we have the search panel. We use to search for every occurrence of a particular text based on maybe their case sensitivity, or you're trying to find the whole word, the regular expressions. We can use the search panel to get all of this. We have source control if we're using Git or any other version control system. Here we have a debugger. Here we have the extensions panel where you can install various extensions just to help with your workflow. All these other ones going down are not fundamentally parts, these are just extensions that I've installed. Okay, on the very top as well, this is something you'll find in almost every desktop app. The file options, edit, selections, view. Okay, just file and maybe edit. The rest you won't really find them. Just go through them in your free time. So the first thing we're going to be doing right now is to create a project folder that we are going to use in VS Code. So how exactly do we do that? So I'm going to my home screen and I'm right clicking and creating a new folder. For Windows or Mac, it is definitely going to vary, but very little difference. So I'm going to create maybe beginners, or just begin for sure. So now coming back to VS Code, I would want to click open a folder. So clicking on opening a folder, I'm going to navigate to my desktop. I'm searching for begin. Thank you. So now it opens begin for me, but I don't see anything. It has opened the file explorer for me. I don't see any file or folder, and that is true because even when we open here, we really don't find anything. So we're going to be creating a file and a folder, and we're going to see how that works. So on the very top of this section, we have about 4 icons. When we hover on the first one, we see new file. This icon creates a new file. This icon creates a new folder. This icon refreshes in case maybe your VS Code is lagging or for some reason, just to refresh all the current directories, folders, and files in the folder. Then this, to collapse all the, I don't think I've ever really used this. Okay, to collapse, so if you have multiple folders open, okay, I'll go through that, all the 4 icons. So now I want to create a new file. I'm going to click on this file, on the file icon, and I'm probably creating an HTML file. So I'm going to call it hello, then with the extension .html. So when I hit enter, VS Code opens the file for me. Here I can write basically any code I want, right? And when I save, probably write an H1, right? And when I save, I'm going back to the file explorer and I see that there's already a hello.html here. So VS Code and the File Explorer, they share the same resource. So when you create a new folder here, it also creates here. Let's do that for instance. So I'm creating an assets folder, right? Probably where all our images will be stored and all. When I come back here, I see there's a folder called asset, but it's empty. So here I'll probably just create one final file, probably style.css. Yeah. So now I've used this and this. I really don't know how to create a scenario where I'm going to have to use the refresh, but let me see if I can create a folder. Let's see if VS Code refreshes, because this icon is actually a fail-safe in case VS Code doesn't actually refresh. So I'm creating a new document, probably just a text file. See, even before I'm done naming it, already has the file here. So unfortunately, we won't be having a scenario where we will be using that. Now I have the assets folder open. Inside I have style.css, outside I have .txt, and I want to close everything. I click here, so it closes every other thing. So these are very four fundamental icons that we'll be using. Here we have the tab section where we can switch from file to file, and this is our welcome tab. On the bottom here we have the timeline. So here it's shown that I've already saved my file once. If I come and write some extra stuff, okay, and I save, it shows that okay, once I had this, but it wasn't here, I just added this line and all. Outline shows the basic structure of how a particular file is being arranged. Since we have the HTML, just the basic structure. Here we have the settings, the user accounts, and many other very basic stuff. So yeah, this has been an introduction to VS Code. Thank you very much.